All right, folks, welcome to the Chappaqua Central School District Board of Education meeting for Wednesday, May 21st. We've been in executive session, so can I have a motion to reopen the public meeting?
I'll move. I'll second.
All in favor? All right, please stand for the pledge. All right, welcome everybody. As I always do, I've got a few things to do in terms of a form of gratitude to offer. Yesterday, we had a very smooth election process. That's a credit to our district clerk, Lisa, and to all the staff that volunteered to be there for the 14 hours plus that it takes to run that. So facilities folks as well. So thank you to all of you for doing that. Concurrently, we had another terrific art show. So thanks to those who put that together. And then there was also the PTA mental health session, where at least for myself, I got to do a 7-minute guided meditation, which was very helpful to me yesterday. So thanks to everybody that put all that together yesterday. It was really great. On the agenda tonight, no presentations, but we do have election results to do, which we'll do here in a moment. We've got tenure. We were just at the tenure ceremony before this, and then there are a couple policy things. So without further ado, I'm going to move us to 1.1.1, which says, be it resolved, the Board of Education hereby ratifies the report of the May 20th, 2025 school budget vote and election. So can I have a motion for 1.1.1, please?
I'll move.
I'll second.
All in favor? All right. Next one. 1.1.2, be it resolved, the Board of Education hereby approves the Westchester Putnam Schools Board Association proposed 2025-26 budget and the nominating committee slate, and authorizes the board president to sign the annual meeting ballot. Can I have a motion for that as well, please?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Oh, did you?
Aye.
Oh, you're fine?
I could say it after.
Okay, go for
Yeah.
it. What do you got?
So I don't know if you noticed on the slate, I was actually had the honor of being nominated by the committee and was approved by the board of directors at WPSBA. So I just wanted to say a little something before we do the vote. So I'm so happy to share that I have been nominated by the committee and approved by the WPSBA board to be on their nominating slate as one of the 2 incoming new board of directors. It's truly an honor to represent 54 member districts and their boards by serving on the board of directors at WPSBA, otherwise known as West Putt. The budget votes and the slate is scheduled to be ratified at the June 2nd annual board meeting, so it's not technically a done deal. The districts are currently voting on their budget and the slate, which is me and another person. Just so the community knows that WPSBA is a not-for-profit organization, a resource for school board members from Westchester and Putnam County. It is made up of 54 member districts. They offer professional development, networking, and advocacy opportunities where, our board liaison was Hillary for us for a couple of years, and they offer to help improve the effectiveness of school boards by providing an array of programs on current education issues as well as policy and board development. They've been instrumental in providing governance training and supporting our school communities with advocacy work both in the region and on the state level.
Congratulations.
Thanks for doing it, Kaylee.
Thank you.
Congrats.
No, you have to vote for me, though.
I think we just did.
Next up, there is a draft version of next year's Board of Education meeting schedule that's been made available. We don't need to do a motion on this, but just acknowledging that we've all had that, and we'll make adjustments once new board members are able to check that out and get back to us. Is there anything more you want to say about that, Christine? Nope, that was it? Okay. But over to you anyway, because it's time for the superintendent report.
Okay, great.
First of all, I want to thank the community for supporting the budget yesterday. I also want to acknowledge and thank Hillary and Ryan for their service, and we look forward to honoring you in June at our second meeting. And then I want to welcome, on behalf of the administrative team, Allison and Tim, and we look forward to working with you in July. You're both here today, so thank you. And so we have a very brief report tonight. On the agenda, you will notice a number of candidates who are being recommended to the board for tenure. And we had a wonderful ceremony. It started at 4:30, went right to 6 o'clock, where the administrative team had the privilege of sharing with our community the very fine members of the teaching staff and our administrative staff who've gone through the process of working with us for a number of years based on their previous experience and have met the criteria of excellence that we believe our students deserve in our classrooms. And so we're thrilled to have a large slate tonight for your consideration. And I want to thank Andrew Crasilia for helping shepherd this process through for all of our staff here who are in the district. And you'll notice Andrew is front and center for the fourth time in his career here in Chapakua Central School District. So thank you. I'm not sure, but it probably is. It might be. Okay. And so just congratulations and to our candidates and their families who we met many of them today. And then we have a very interesting donation on the agenda. So Adam, you're up.
So you'll see 5.12 is a donation of a book, The Life and Times of Horace Greeley, originally published in 1874. And it was actually donated to us from the West Coast by like a bookseller, trader, dealer that thought it might have more value to us locally than perhaps to him. So he reached out and donated it to us. And now it's in the Greeley Library here at the high school. So if anybody wants to see it, it's there. And it's a really neat book. That's actually a picture from the book there that you can see. So we'll hold on to it as a little piece of memorabilia for anybody that wants to peruse
Where'd the $50 figure come from?
We actually, if you can, there are a few out online, and so they fluctuate. But yeah, that's about the going rate. When we Googled it, there was another copy on eBay, and so we did a little bit of research to figure out about how much it would be worth. But I think worth more to us as a community. Of course.
That's good. We have a few items from him, which is really cool to have here in this space. So. And so we have a lot of events coming up. We are in the middle of screening our kindergarten students. We are about to go on Memorial Day recess. We have a recognition ceremony, and then we're going to start to celebrate our seniors. And the first major event for this senior class is Footloose, which will be commencing on May 30th, the senior musical, which is a wonderful tradition here at Horace Greeley High School. So that is the end of the superintendent's report.
Okay. Are there any committee reports?
We had our last electric school bus task force meeting, where we've continued to identify challenges in converting the fleet. So the law was now changed in the sense that districts can apply for an extension to comply with the intermediate steps, but not really the long-term goal of full fleet transfer to electric by 2035. So we feel like we're in a good place, and Josh can expand on this, because we have basically commissioned a study that will cost virtually nothing, which I think Alyssa and I have reported on in the past, to the district to basically lay out what are going to be the monetary requirements for us, but also what are going to be like the power requirements and what kind of structures are we going to need to power these buses and to charge, not only in terms of what kind of power are we going to physically need from Con Ed, but also what kind of infrastructure are we going to need to convert the Con Ed into actual charging stations. So every time we think we've come up with maybe a solution, we come up with like 6 more problems. And that is the nature of unfunded mandates. But we are conducting this study, which we should have the results in the fall and be able to report back. They will then present to the board and the community what the findings are, which will at least give some sort of blueprint on how the district can then proceed down this path or what paths are worth exploring to proceed down. But doing the study checks our intermediate compliance box of moving towards the mandated compliance target. So we are on track to comply with the first step of the process, even if doing so doesn't clear up at all how we are going to comply with the rest of the process. On the other hand, so much can change between now and that compliance deadline that even though becoming more environmentally friendly is certainly what the district wants to do, there are so many ways to get there that don't involve converting the entire bus fleet, that it remains to be seen whether the state will be open to alternative means of reducing our carbon footprint, which would be helpful.
Anybody else have something?
I don't know if Josh wants to make that clearer.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was perfect.
Pretty good. Christine and I dropped by the exec committee of the PTA, but that was very quick this time around. We went through kind of an update on how we're thinking about events for next year, and that we'll work on it through the summer. Did I miss anything? Did we do anything else? That was pretty much it.
No, that was it.
Yeah. Okay. That brings us to public comment. We welcome public comments. In respect for each other's time, we ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes. Board members may be contacted via email or phone. After the public comment period has been completed, board members may have a discussion amongst themselves regarding the comments presented. Are there any public comments tonight? Hearing none, let's move to 3. 3.1 is to accept the minutes from the May 7th meeting. Can I have a motion for that, please?
I'll move.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, 3.2 is the second reading and adoption of the student residence policy. This is about giving a little bit more flexibility to families that might move within the district so that they can stay at their school within some limited constraints. Let's do the motion and then we can do a quick summary of whether there was any feedback or anything. So can I have a motion for 3.2?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay, yeah, so was there any feedback? No. Okay.
Oh, I think it was,
People were, apparently people
Satisfied.
are okay with it, as written. Anybody have anything more to say about it? Yeah? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, very good. And then 3.3, this is a third reading of a regulation, 7025. It's also, we're going to try to adopt here, student, faculty, and staff freedoms and responsibilities. Again, let's do the motion and then see if anybody wants to talk about it.
I'll move.
Yeah. Any discussion on this one or anything you want to clarify on this
yeah,
one?
so this regulation basically helps us do our work with our students and our faculty, and it talks about, freedom of expression, what unprotected speech is in the context of our school. It also has language around off-campus behavior to provide clarity around when we would be taking action if that becomes disruptive in the school environment. There is also language in there about religious expression and student publications and distributions of written materials. So we've been working on this throughout the year, and we're at a place in time where we feel like it's ready for adoption consideration.
Any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
I recommend 4.1 instructional as presented.
I'll move 4.1.
I will second.
Any discussion about any of, this is about the tenure appointments for all those that were just depicted a few minutes ago, as well as some ad-needed basis employees. Okay, all those in favor? Aye, all right.
I recommend.
Congrats to all those people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Andrew. I recommend 4.2 non-instructional as presented.
Can we have a motion for 4.2, please?
I'll move.
I will second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay. That brings us to the consent agenda. Use of the consent agenda permits the Board of Education to make more effective use of its time by adopting a single motion to cover those relatively routine matters which are included Any member of the board who wishes to discuss individually a particular piece of business on the consent agenda may so indicate, and that item will be considered and voted on separately, thus preserving the right of all members to be heard on any issue. It's recommended the Board of Ed approve the following consent agenda items. We have 5.1 tonight through 5.17. Things like the standard CSE summaries. We have some purchase orders on here. We've got some placements, and we've got some uniforms. Does anybody want to take anything off tonight? Okay, so I'll move 5.1 through 5.17. Can I have a second?
A second.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Item 6, this is where we acknowledge receipt of the following contracts approved by the superintendent. Here we have 6.1, which is an agreement for service with Samantha Potak as the continuing ed assistant. Can I have a motion for 6.1, please?
Second.
All those in favor? Okay, nothing under 7. And so that brings us to financials. 8.1 through 8.4, we're acknowledging receipt of the claim auditor's report for April 2025, the treasurer's report for April 2025, the appropriation status report for April 2025, and the revenue status report for April 2025. I will move 8.1 through 8.4 all at once. Can I have a second?
I will second.
Any discussion about these? All those in favor?
Aye.
And notice of future meetings. We'll be back on the 4th at 7 o'clock to honor our retirees. And then on the 17th, we'll have a strategic plan update. And so with that, can I have a motion to adjourn at 7:36?
I'll move.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, everybody.